Welcome back in to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Phil Cobble Fine Homes and Land. Folks, when it comes to finding a boutique realtor, someone specializing in upscale fine homes and land, trust Phil Cobble and his whole team. Just take a look at this beautiful custom-built home located on 10.4 acres of land with a 1,200 square foot utility building on the property. Surrounding pasture land is fenced, so this is perfect for any folks that have horses, have cattle, and this too was listed by a viewer of our show. So I tell you once again, not only you need to get in touch with Phil Cobble, Fine Homes and Land, and his team about buying this home or another home or selling your home. If you get with him and you list your home with Phil Cobble, it might appear right here on the Sports Source in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers every single Sunday. And while we're speaking of Phil Cobble, he and his team, along with the Sports Source, will have a booth. Let's see if we've got there we go. A booth on June 21st, Saturday, June 21st, World Fair Park, the BKW Big Kahuna Wing Festival. Stop by, taste tons of wings. There's going to be all kinds of folks down there, tens of thousands of people in attendance, including those that stop by the Phil Cobble Sports Source booth. So come on by and check us out. That is Saturday, June 21st, World Fair Park, and it all benefits charity. All right. This week, ESPN.com's Ivan Maisel, I don't know, one of college football's most respected writers for years and years and years, wrote that teams like Stanford and Baylor have gone from mediocre to championship caliber in just 4 or 5 years. He then said, my pick for the next sleeper team to win a conference championship, Butch Jones at Tennessee in 2017. I think most people should be rather positive that of all the coaches in the country and all the programs he's expecting to turn around, he picked Butch Jones at Tennessee. I think that's the positive. But I bet there's some folks out there saying, 2017? That's too far away. So my question is, what will the mood be like around here if Tennessee isn't in the championship hunt? And I guess they could be in the hunt, just not win it. But what if they're not in the championship hunt until 2017? Let's say you're probably the same this year. Next year you're 8-4. In 2016, let's say you go 8-4, 9-3 again. What's the mood in 2017 going into that season?
I would think if you can do it the way you did it, it'll be okay. I think if you're building and you're getting better and you see you're getting better and you've lost 4 games, but you lost 4 games by a total of 8 points, that sort of thing, I think the mood will be okay. I think you can't stay where you're at right now and then suddenly burst into the scene because Butch Jones will be going, wow, that guy took my players and won a championship.
Right. No, we can't be 5-7 for 4 straight years leading into it. Okay, agree, disagree?
I
what do you think?
I think if you get to an 8-4 sounds so much better than a 7-5, and 8-4 sounds awfully good compared to what's been going on.
7-5 actually sounds good to 5-7.
So,
yes, you're right.
I agree with Bob's timetable.
All right, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder what's going to happen in 2016. I mean, the year before, but that does seem a long way away. That would be what, year 4?
Year 5.
Year 5 of. I mean, I think that to win a championship, SEC, I think a lot of Tennessee fans would take that, but they want to see some more good recruiting news, and they want to see beat one of your main rivals or two along the way too.
You deal with the callers every day. What's your thought?
Well, I think year 5, as long as there is progress building in that direction towards a 2017 run for the championship, I think there would be good support. But again, if you just kind of stagnant and then all of a sudden it breaks through, there might be more and more growing frustration.
I had someone tweet me this week. It's amazing. We've done this on the show this spring. We had Jimmy and Josh Ward was with us, and we put all the guys on the board who had signed over the last 4 years. And somebody tweeted me this week and said, well, there's plenty of talent. Look at where they rank in recruiting. But we showed you on that list as we marked all these names out who had not here, gone, flunked out, dunce, left, arrested, in jail. The recruiting rankings that people are looking at, there's still people out there who think this team is going to go 8-4, 9-3 this year, and I just don't know if they're thinking that this year. What are they going to think in 2015? What are they going to think in 2016? I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that if Dave Hart's still here as AD, I think Butch Jones is still here as coach, barring some complete collapse. But I don't know that he's got tons of fan support if he hasn't made a lot of progress, as we said.
Well, that's the reason I think this year is going to be important. because I don't think it's going to be a good year. But can you do enough positive things to kind of keep the fan base together to get you through this year? I just don't think it's going to be a very good season. But if people jump off the bandwagon, I mean, Derek Dooley lost to Kentucky, and that was basically it for him. He wasn't, he either had to be Superman or he was going to fail. Butch Jones, people just need to be patient, get through this one, and then judge a little bit more on 2015.
But see, here's the thing: if we're looking at this season being 5-7 or 6-6. And again, you're playing, 9 of your 12 opponents and went to bowls last year, and it's a tough conference schedule. If you're struggling this year, I don't know that there are positives. So that's the thing. I mean, last year, this team almost beat Georgia, then they beat South Carolina. There's your signature win everybody wanted. They happened to run into 3 top 5 teams. Everybody completely forgot about the South Carolina win. That was wadded up and thrown out the window. It was the old Tennessee trash ad. He got to the mattress, then he took the South Carolina thing and just threw it out there. So I don't know that there are going to be any positives you can take from this. Let's say you beat Alabama. That's cool. But if you're still finishing 5-7, that means you've lost to somebody no one is going to.
But I mean, you got to look for the positive. You got to sit there. Are the young players playing a lot? Are they looking pretty good? Are they looking better at the end, at the beginning? There's positives you can take out of losing.
Always look on the bright side of life. All right, you guys agree with what Bob's saying? There could be positives that come out of this from a fan's perspective?
Yeah, and I disagree with you a little bit about last year. I think if they had not had that Georgia thriller and had not beaten South Carolina, I don't think those were completely thrown away. You had 3 tough weeks the next week that I think there would have been a lot more griping if they hadn't beaten South Carolina.
Agreed. I just don't think there was any carryover when it turned into they just took a vacation for 3 weeks. This team flopped, whereas I think some people should have said, these are top 5 teams. You already pulled an upset. Let's calm down a little bit rather than get angry over a loss with a backup quarterback to Missouri. But it depends on how many you think are feeling that way. I think a majority were feeling that way. You obviously think it was a minority that felt that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I think it was a grit your teeth situation as you lost to Alabama, as you lost to Auburn, as you lost to Missouri.
Yeah.
I think where the anger came, the frustration really bubbled back to the surface was the loss to Vanderbilt, because you knew going to Kentucky that you had no shot at a bowl game. And I think, along with what Bob has said, that as long as you've got something that you can hold on to, a win over a team that you haven't beaten recently, if you get to 6-6, that's going to make so much a better. It'll make a lot.
Difference.
I talk for a living. That's wonderful. It'll be something to build on if you can get to 6-6, show improvement, and perhaps get back to a bowl
your
game.
best victories could very well be in recruiting. I mean, that's what people have been able to hang on to, and that's what's going to carry you forward until you do start winning some of these big games.
I think that's a good point. All right. When we come back, LSU does a lot of crying about how tough their schedule is. Well, we did the math, and we'll show you who in the SEC over the next rotation of 12 years, who's going to have the toughest SEC schedule, who's going to have the easiest, and where LSU ranks. They shouldn't be crying. Let's leave it at that. Come on back on the Sports Source.